Hey everyone, it's LaStar Shantae. I'm led by faith, covered by grace. This is Doing My Best.
Okay, so I'm super excited to get into our topic for today. I think we're in a season where a lot of things are surrounding love and just like intimacy going into this February month. You know, it's Black History Month, it's Valentine's Day. I know a lot of people may not celebrate Valentine's Day, but the reality is we walk in stores and we see all these things posted up. So I wanted to take a moment to really reflect on true love, you know, especially because people that listen to Do My Best are in all different walks of life and things of that. But I think a true understanding of what love can do and how it can prevail regardless of your situation, it's just a good conversation to have. And so I wanted to bring my good friend on today. And so y'all say hi to Dinelle. Dinelle and I met at Motivation Church. Maybe about a year ago. Probably about a year ago. So we met in a small group called Lifted at Lunch. It's a small group that I hosted starting last summer. We started in summer. We did the fall too. So in this small group, we got together for prayer during our lunchtime via Zoom. And so in the fall semester, you know, because I heard Dinelle pray and I heard her teach, you know, unintentional teaching, but when you have God inside you, it just come out. And I was like, oh no, you're gonna have to help me lead in the next semester. And thankfully she said yes. And so that's basically how our connection came about. And getting to learn more about her, she told me some of her testimony. And so we're going to be talking about that a little bit today on basically not putting limits around love. And can your ex be your next? So that's the topic. That's the topic we're going to discuss today. Can your ex be your next? And so I do want to give you an opportunity if you want to tell people a little bit more about yourself or anything that you want to share before we get into our topic on today.
I'm not really sure. Well, just a little background. I'm originally from Chicago, so a bit of a rough upbringing. So I have testimonies through all of that. Lived in Florida for a period. Met my husband in Florida in college and things like that. We started a family, and then his job moved us to Virginia. So here I am, and we were expanding out, looking for new churches, and I was able to meet you, which was a blessing in my life, and got me back involved in the church more actively instead of just attending. So I appreciate your love and, you know, inviting me to kind of co-host with you a little bit. So
Oh, that's cool. So you're from Chicago. I don't think I knew that.
Oh
So this cold weather we got right now.
Oh, this is nothing.
Okay, let me tell you, this girl showed up to my door in what she has on right now. Do you understand? It's like 9 degrees outside. I'm like, where is your coat? She's like, I'm fine. I'm
like, you need to get to the car, to the house. House to the car, that's it.
Listen, it is cold, so, but this is nothing for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of your husband, I know you say you guys met in Florida. In Florida, okay. And then you relocated to Virginia for his job. And so that is our topic. So I know part of your testimony you shared with me, because as you guys know, and as you know, I went through divorce, and I wrote my book, Taking Back My Pen. And I don't know if that's how we kind of started talking about that, and divorce came up, and you said that, you know, I was divorced, but I knew you were married too. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is a past situation, and you married somebody different. And she was like, well, no, actually, it's my ex-husband. I'm like, I want to know more. So tell us a little bit about like how long you guys were married and just like your love story prior to actually going through divorce.
Okay, so we actually met in 2005 in college, and I had stayed in the same city for about a few months, and then I moved further away. So we had a long distance for about a year, and then we broke up, you know, young kids. We were like 22, 23, and we were separated for 3 years, and then we stayed in contact. He came back around, and we were like, yeah, we can only see each other as our partner. So he was like, yeah, let's do this. So we ended up getting married and moving down to Lakeland, Florida, and started a family there. And we had a great community, a great church back home, poured into us, small groups, families, and it was like a protection bubble at the beginning of our marriage, and I really appreciate God putting us in that. But when so we were together for about a solid 8 years, and then right when the pandemic happened, I think we just finally hit our breaking point. So a solid 8 years.
Okay. Got Gotcha. Okay, 8 years married. And you have how many children?
Four.
4 children. Okay.
Yes.
And so, whew, big family. Okay, and so I know the pandemic in itself, it just was it was a lot to navigate. And I know a lot of relationships, I mean, mine included, didn't survive, or they faced a lot of trials and tribulations because you have so much stress. You have people quarantining together. Like, at least when you were able to get out, even if you were having trouble, it wasn't like you had to face it all day, every day. And I think that time just either made people or break people, you know. And either way, you know, we know that all things work together for our good. So even through all the trials, the tribulation, and the heartbreaks, the makeups, I really believe that nothing is by happenstance. Like, everything serves a purpose. Absolutely. And so when y'all were in this season of, like, you were married, you faced the pandemic, and then you decided to separate. How was that? Like, what started to circulate conversations of separation and divorce?
So there was a lot going on. So when the devil gets busy, he gets all the way busy. Like, he's gonna tear down a household if he can. So I ended up losing the closest people to me in a 5-year span, 3-year span. So I lost my grandparents, I lost my sister, I lost my aunt. All these are people I grew up in a household with. So technically, the people that I grew up with, the only one that's left is my mom. After my sister passed, me and her kind of had to separate ways for a period. Good to say that we're back with keeping terms, so that's another testimony.
That is. We talked about that. Okay.
So, but it pushed me into such a deep depression. I wasn't functioning. I gave up. I was in the bed. I was on the floor. I was crying. I was pleading with God. So everything was kind of being ripped from me, and then at the same time, my husband had his own trials to go through. He's burdened with work. I wasn't working. I was a stay-at-home mom before. So a lot of transitions. We had no community because we had just moved to Virginia like a few months prior to COVID and all of that hitting. So we're just up here trying to navigate this by ourselves. A lot of prayer, but it got to a point where I started to see what I needed to do differently, and I was trying to kind of coach him through it, but his priorities were still a bit shifted. He wasn't raised in a church per se, so we ended up getting baptized together in Lakeland, Florida. Okay. Which was awesome because it was in the same pool and everything at the same time. So,
I love that.
Yeah, but so he was like a baby Christian to me in my eyes. Like, I was raised in the truth and understanding, so I knew what it was going to take and how hard the devil can come for me. But there was no empathy, no sympathy, no tangible love for me, and I was already being depleted of love. So I said I needed to separate. He said, "Oh, I'll work on things only if we divorce." Like, he was being very God. It just seemed like he just hardened his heart to me, and I was like, I was crying out to God. I was like, I don't understand. Like, why is he being so? To me, it was cruel, like standoffish, cold, and it's not like him at all. And it's just the season that we were in, and I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. And God was like, you need to move. And I didn't know what that meant, so I just pushed everyone away. Family that I knew, friends that I knew, everyone. I'm like, everyone's got to go because my life was going into shambles, and I was like, I need to hear from God. I need time to myself. And we separated, and then we ended up getting a divorce like 3 months later. And for the next 6 months after that, I was just in a period of isolation. I didn't leave my house. I took care of my kids. I went to work. And then I did my Bible studies. I wasn't even going to church at the time, excuse me. So, just alone time. And I spent that time in deep prayer. Like, I can remember praying at least almost every hour. It was so bad. Crying out to God, pleading with God, asking him what direction he wants to take me in. And then there was just silence. And then all of a sudden I would hear like little whispers saying, "Oh, well, go check on the kitchen." And I go down to the kitchen. He's like, "Oh, look, there's dishes. Go do some dishes." And he would just kind of send me on these little weird routes, like, "Oh, there's an assignment at work. Oh, focus on that." I'm like, this isn't helping me. Like, I need relationships. I'm like, he's like, we're not there yet, you know, because I had pushed everyone away. And some people tried to come back, but then I could see what pushed me away from them in the first place. Like, we're all bombarded with these spirits, like good angelic spirits that the Holy Spirit brings into us to help us. And then there's those demonic spirits that are there to tear us away from God. And we all face different ones. And so he said I needed to use discernment. Like I felt this in my spirit. He was like, just use discernment, take it slow. And so that's pretty much what I did. I wasn't sure about myself and my decision making. And so I just stayed to myself. I tried to let people back in. Me and my ex-husband at the time, we weren't talking, just drop-offs. His heart was still hard. It was a very sad, isolated period. So,
yeah. And it's interesting you say that. 'Cause I can relate to that a lot, even with my own journey.
yeah.
A lot of it is the like looking inward, and sometimes people feel like, oh, you can't blame yourself. And I don't think it's about blaming yourself, but I know for me personally, I was kind of in the same mental space, especially like after I had my son. I dealt with postpartum depression for years.
Yeah.
You know, and it was because, you know, we got married really quick. I got pregnant really quick.
Yep.
And I had so many amazing life things happening. Like, for me, like I had we bought a new house. I got pregnant. I'm a newlywed. A new promotion on my job. Like it was just all these great things. But they happened in such a short period of time. It was almost like I couldn't keep up. Like I was losing myself.
Yeah.
And so, and with women, you know, we're carrying a baby. Our body changes. Our hormones change.
Absolutely.
And you know, for men, they don't really have that same like
transition.
You know, they don't. They're just there. They're like, okay, what's going on? And I was having a rough time. And I think the mental health piece was a part of my story too, because it was things that were outside of our relationship that I believe, I don't want to say caused it, but it was hard to fight during that time. I'll say that. And it's interesting that even with your story, it's things that you were dealing with that had nothing to do per se with y'all interaction. Because a lot of times people think of divorce, they're like, oh, did he cheat or what happened? It's like, no, it's you have two different people, two individuals coming together in this marriage that are dealing with things. And if you don't know how to work together to get through these things, like you said, those spirits and the enemy, he wants to divide families. Point blank, period. That's like a big piece of his agenda is to separate homes, especially with men. I believe he has an agenda after men because they're supposed to be the head of our household, you know, and so
keep them off track.
Right, and distracted, and you know. And so it's just like when you have these things, it can cause relationships to fail. So I think, I don't know, like hearing you say that to me, like, oh, you can understand. Because I think sometimes when I would tell people that, it's like, well, you can't blame yourself if this person decides to leave. No, because I believe that love should be unconditional. But I do believe that there's other parts to stories too that you have to work on, especially if you want to move forward in life, not even with a person, in life in general, you know. So, thank you for sharing that piece of it. Thank you for sharing that part. So when you were at this point and you said that you felt like his heart was hardened, like it was just hard, it wasn't the person that you married, essentially. How did you deal with co-parenting with him? Like how was because I can tell you my story, but how did you deal with co-parenting and having to still interact? Because it's one thing when you don't work out and you can be like, okay, bye, I ain't never got to see you again. Here's my number. But it's a different thing when it's like we have to raise children together.
It's so difficult. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning of the co-parenting season, it was like you can drop them off outside, ring the doorbell, and walk away. You know, like don't even text my phone. But God kept speaking to me during that season. Like my husband, he has a tender heart, but for some reason it was a barrier between me and him, and we couldn't figure out what that barrier was. But on his side, he loved me. On my side, I loved him. But we just could not come together, even as co-parenting parents. And so God kept instructing me, be patient, be kind, be loving. And I'm like, I don't like this guy. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't even want to see his face, you know? And so God was like, wrong attitude, wrong mindset. And he's like, things are changing. You have to change. And I'm like, okay. So this is all in our monologue. And I'm like, okay. So I took a step back and I decided to be patient with him. Whenever he offered a helping hand, I begrudgingly accepted it. It's like, you don't have to do that. He's like, oh, well, you need your grass cut. I'll pay somebody. No, that doesn't make any sense. Let me just cut it. I'll come. I won't even come in the house. I'll just do it and be gone.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, okay, fine. And so we would just start doing like little favors for each other. Oh, did you cook dinner for the kids? I already made dinner. I'll drop it off.
Okay.
Different things like that. Just going back to being cordial. And so we got to that point of being cordial again, and it was I don't know how to explain it, because it's you love somebody, but you're like, I'm never gonna be with this person ever again.
I was gonna ask you that. Did you feel like you were gonna get back together?
Yeah, I'm like, no, absolutely not. And so I did spend that 6 months, like a good solid 6 months in the house. Like I didn't go out, I didn't socialize, I didn't do anything. And then one day I looked up and this guy's out going salsa dancing. And I'm like, where are you headed to? Like I was getting the kids one night and he's like, oh, salsa dancing. And you should come with me one time. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And so I get my kids and I go home and then I'm sitting there, like, I'm stuck in the house. He's out having fun. I should be having fun. And so you start trying to put your life back together. And now, mind you, I'm still praying through the whole thing and trying to keep my senses about me. So we would go out and maybe once a month and just go dancing. And when you go, like you match up with different partners, whoever's available.
Yeah, like salsa dancing.
Yeah, you just go, he does his own thing, I do my own thing, and I was still being stubborn. God was like, I heard from him clearly near the end of the spring after we had divorced. So that had to be 23. And he was like, your husband is coming back. Oh, no, he said, I'm bringing you your husband. And I'm like, oh. And I kept having dreams about it. I kept feeling it in spirit. I was like, oh, I wonder who he's going to be. I wonder if it's going to be someone I'm meeting out dancing. So then I was like, selfishly thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go out with you more. Like, let's go twice a month now.
Like, I need him to see me.
Yeah, like, I'm just stuck in the house. Like, he's never going to find me. Like, my husband's going to, my ex-husband at the time, he's going to find whoever he's supposed to be with. I'm going to find who I'm supposed to be with. And we're just going to be great co-parenting. Because by then we got back into the swing of things.
That's good.
And of course, that is not what happened at all.
That is wild. So you said something. You said that basically you had a moment where you felt like y'all weren't, like you didn't think that we were going to be married, especially when y'all divorced, because you actually went through the whole process of separating, divorcing,
Yes.
and now you're out and trying to piece back. You're like, or move forward. I would say.
Yes.
And so in that space, you said that you thought maybe he'll do his thing and you'll do your thing. I remember being at a point where it was, and I remember it clear as day, where I was praying to God for my marriage to work.
Mm-hmm.
I was praying for God for me to move forward before he moved forward. I was praying to God, like, I was praying for so many different things. And I remember God was just like, just shut up. Like, I mean, that might be harsh, but it was like, be quiet, because you're double-minded at this point. You don't know what you want. Right. You don't know if you want to be married or if you don't. You don't want. You asked me for a thing, and I was just like, dang, shut up. It's kind of harsh. It's harsh, but it's real.
Right.
Like, I really don't know what I want, and I feel like that's why for me things couldn't progress, because it was like, God knows our heart. He knows our desires, right? We might think we know what we desire, but He truly knows what we need and what we desire. And so it was a moment where I was just like, I really need to just be silent, like be still. Like one of the things I think about is like, be still and know that I am God. It was like I really had to be still and trust God. Like, regardless of how this works out, I know it's gonna work out for my good.
Yes.
And when I tell you, that thing ate me up when He showed me that, like, for my story.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
This is where you are.
Right.
And so going back to y'all's situation, how long was it in between like the separation and divorce? Like, how long was that period for you?
Hey y'all, so I had to interrupt to see if you got your copy of Taking Back My Pen yet. This is my very first book I wrote back in 2023 when I was going through separation and divorce. When I tell y'all, this book literally saved my life. This is a lot of answered prayers, a lot of strategies from God, and it has so many great tools to get you through any transition in life. This is all about partnering with God to become the author of your narrative, not allowing anything to define you but the Holy Spirit. So, if you have not already got your copy, get yours today. I'm telling you, it is life changing. You can find the link in the comments below, or you can go to my website, which will also be in the comments in this video. All right, let's get back.
So we did our separation in house, right?
Okay.
So I was like, I moved to another room in the house.
Okay.
We're looking at each other in the house.
Oh.
We're ready to throw blows in the house. Like, I think it was hostile. Like, the kids were like staying in their rooms. Like, nobody wants to be in any common area. Like, where we walk past each other. Well, I don't even know what it was. Like, what make us blow up? But something. The devil is crafty, because I would hear one thing, he would hear another thing, and then we would just clash.
Yeah.
And it's just, so that went on for a year, and then he finally moved out down the street, of course.
That's what
You couldn't move further, but that's me and my rebellion. I'm like trying to have things my way. Yeah. And so he knew we were up here by ourselves, so no matter what we were going through, he didn't want to be too far from us, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But I was praying through the whole thing, and God was like, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't know what we want. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I've lost my family, I lost my spouse, I have my kids, I have no clue. I want peace. And I remember that's all I kept asking. I just want peace, God. Just whatever it's gonna look like, it's gonna be. And I was just trying to be hopeful, but I'm not gonna lie, I lost hope and optimism. But I had faith that no matter what decision I made, God was gonna make good of it, because even our bad decisions, He makes good for. And so
That's good. That's good. I can't imagine being separated and living in the house for a year together. So when me and my ex separated, we lived together for the separated in April, and he moved out in June. So what was that, 2-3 months?
okay.
And even in that time, it was just it's weird because, like, for me, I was seeing him prepare to move out, like making calls, trying to find places to move, and I'm like sitting here looking like, oh, this is really happening. It's like I have a front row seat to everything that's happening. You know what I mean? And granted, same thing. It's like awkward in the house. We didn't really argue, but it was just like nothing. We're not really communicating, or if we're communicating, it's like me crying and like trying to get my life together, and then me being really angry, and like it was just those mood swings. And you said something about like you didn't know why you guys would blow up. I think about, this is not scripture, but how people say it's a thin line between love and hate. I really feel like it's something that's gonna make you love this person, or you gonna despise them. It's like this passion, this passion that I love you so much, and now that you're against me, it's almost like I'm choosing a complete opposite side until God reconciles. So, like, even with your story, reconciliation is possible. You know what I'm saying? It's something that the Lord can do, and it doesn't always have to look like I'm getting back with this person. It's really, I can mend your heart. So, like, for me, it was the heart mending that it's even before we separated or divorced. Obviously, you don't wake up one day and be like, oh, I just want to separate from you. You're having issues, right? So, even through issues, it was just like I had this, like, distaste for him. It was just like, I just don't like you. I just don't like the person that I get. Other people see you in a different light. Like, you can interact. Like, of course, my son sees you in a different light. Your friends see you in a different light. The people that you work with see you in a different light. But I don't like the person that I get, because I know this is not who you are to other people. So it makes you start going through, like, for me, abandonment, rejection, all these things. And I just remember just being in a place where I was like, I'm tired of being angry, and I'm tired of feeling like frustrated or feeling this taste towards you. And so, I mean, my mending happened well after our divorce. I think for my son's, it might have been his 8th birthday party. I remember us being and we had a divorce when he was 4 or 5. Like, I think we separated when he was 4 and divorced when he was 5. So this is like 3 years later. I remember being at one of his birthday parties and actually laughing and joking with him. Like, oh my gosh, like, I can have a conversation after this. I had like after the fact, I was like, oh, the Lord has mended my heart, because I can really have a genuine conversation where I don't feel like I have to fake it, and I'm okay. And I can appreciate that healing can come that way. But for you, your reconciliation came with y'all actually, well, a piece of it, because I know healing is it's multifaceted. It's a lot of pieces within us that have to be healed. But one of the ways that he outwardly showed that was reconciling you guys' relationship. So, how did y'all go from divorce to actually talking about being married again? Like, how?
Okay, so let me see, because that one's a loaded question. Okay. So while we're going through our processes, God was working on us individually. Um, Hindsight is 2020. So looking back, I can actually see how God was moving. So on my end, I was in isolation. I was in deep prayer constantly. He was working on my mind, my heart, the way I view things, the systems that I had set up for myself, and what I needed to work on to build a healthier lifestyle, how to set boundaries with people, how to accept love, because I was pushing love away. Just being honest and transparent, especially in an environment where I knew no one. So it's scary, you know. And so on the other end, my husband, he was going to group counseling. He had a personal counselor. He was working through anger issues and trying to be able to express his emotions in a more healthy way. So he was working on that. And so I think at the end, God separated us. I could hear him because we needed to work on things, but I was going home like, no, this is a whole divorce. We're done, you know? And so when we got back, started hanging out again, I started to see the changes in him. Okay. I started to see the compassion, the love, like he was back to being his old self. And God kept saying like, he is who he is. Like you have to love him for who he is and accept him for who he is and where he is in life. And I was like, okay, I can accept that. But what I can't accept is the trampling of boundaries, the disinterest, however it may be displayed. Because he gets it on his own one track mind. Even now, like he gets in work mode, don't even bother talking to him. Like he's like, okay. But God was working on us individually. So I know for a fact that he had separated us so he could work with us. Because we in the same house, neither one of us could hear God. Because we're like, I hear you and I hear the devil and I don't like any of it. And God is like, come back, stay over here. Let me talk to you for a second. And I'm like so worked up and so angry. Like I'm pushing God out. And he's like, absolutely not, separate so I can talk to you guys. And so we had calm, we were enjoying each other, enjoying each other's company and things like that. So it started talking about, like, why did we break up? Why did we separate? Well, you weren't happy. Well, I wasn't happy with this. And we started talking about little things. And the fact that he was actually listening to me this time, it just softened my heart. Because I completely hardened my heart. I'm like, you're going to harden your heart? I'm going to harden mine too. But God was softening my heart. It's like, just listen to him. And I could tell God, he was listening to God. He was allowing God to move in his life. He was making adjustments. Turtle pace, in my opinion, but adjustments nonetheless.
He was changed now.
Yeah. And so I appreciated that. And we were just taking things slow, and I realized I didn't want to see him with someone else. Not because I didn't want to see him happy. He's not my best friend. And I didn't want to lose my best friend. Like I would, if he was really not in love with me and wanted to be with someone else, I would like at that point, okay, I love you, go be happy, do what you need to. So I did bring it up, and he's like, I didn't know you still love me. I still love you, you know. I just didn't know why we had to get to this point. I'm looking at him still with that hardening heart, the side eye. I'm like, really? No clue how we got here, but I digress. But you know, God checks me a lot, and like, nope, that's your old mindset. Go to the new mindset that I've been teaching you.
That's good. And that's real. Yeah, that's real. Cause one thought away, like you can slip back real quick. You know. But you said something that I wanted to say. So you brought up the conversation about y'all, how you felt. Not necessarily getting back together, but how you felt.
He's not one to be transparent in feelings. Like he's transparent in action. So he would offer his help. He would offer his love. Like he's a service guy. Gotcha. So if he's offering your service, that means he cares about you. He cares about your purpose and things like that. When he doesn't, he checks out. He can come. Oops, kidding. He has no problem like with his boundaries with folks. Like, no, I'm not available, or I am available. So I was seeing the effects of his love, but I wasn't ready to receive it.
Okay.
And then I started to receive it, and I was like, you need to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not telling you nothing because of pride. And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep it to myself. And then we're going out dancing, and he's dancing with other people, and I'm like, I don't like any of this now. And I'm like, how long can this continue? Like, either I'm about to find a new partner to go dancing with, or
I'm still trying to wrap my head around y'all going dancing.
Well,
like, this is wild to me. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it, because honestly, my ex-husband is like that.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted to go to anything he's at, he is gonna walk with me with open arms. It's me. Like, I'm the toxic. I'm the problem. Because I'm just like, are you crazy? Like, I don't want to be anywhere around you. Like, no. But it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, really, to be able to kill the pride and really enjoy the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful. Like, I need lessons.
Because it's a hard, because you have to let go of resentment, you have to let go of the pain. Like, those things are still there, and trust me, in that first year of marriage, we had to hatch out some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, talk about like some past hurts.
Like when you remarried.
Yes, once you got remarried,
gotcha.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that stuff doesn't go away, but it can be put on a back burner so you can build stability again.
Yeah.
And so his willingness to communicate with me and his transparency and honesty showed me that, okay, he's in a different mindset. I can talk to him. So let's just take a baby step. Let me just tell him how I'm feeling. And I did. And he's saying the same thing back to me. So we're like, we'll just take it slow and, build on things. And it turned into more family events and gatherings and just building it slow again. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that the submission to God in it, because even throughout your story, even at the beginning, you were saying how God would speak to you, like little things to do to kind of help you get through the state that you were in. And even with the pride thing, like killing the pride, so that way you were able to open your heart up to this new relationship. Because I mean, granted, it's the same person, but y'all are both in a new season at different places in life. And so it's like you're open to that. And I think a lot of times we block our own blessings because we're not listening to God's voice.
Yeah.
And we give into that pride. Yes. And it's out of hurt. It's really like sometimes self-protection. I don't want this person to be able to hurt me again. I'm upset. I'm angry. But we don't go to that primary emotion. Like anger and all that stuff is a secondary emotion. But why are you angry? Like, why are you upset? And the reality is, like, once we are able to address the root of it, like, well, I'm angry because I'm hurt, and I'm hurt because X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Then you can actually start to heal. Yes. I think for me, my healing had to happen kind of like when you were in isolation. My healing had to happen in isolation as well, because I was so used to depending on people to help me heal, which was that's really codependency. Yeah. And I didn't realize that. Like, I was a very codependent person. Oh yeah. Where I didn't need you to buy me anything, but I needed to feel like you're here and I feel validated, or I don't know if it was safety. And I know, like, therapy, we can take it all the way back to my dad. My dad left, like the abandonment that seeps in. But at some point, you have to take control back, where I think God had us separate a week after the pandemic started. So I couldn't go nowhere. Like, I couldn't get to my normal coping mechanisms. Right. So I'm trying to cope, and then the only person I have is the guy that don't want to be with me and my child. So I can't cope to a 4-year-old. Right. I can't talk to you. Yeah. So I mean, I was able to get people on the phone. My friends, they didn't care about the pandemic. They was like, I'll come over there, like, I'll check in on you. So I'm thankful for my circle, because I had the circle, like, I had the village, I had the circle, I had all the support, but I still needed that time alone with God because of that underlying codependency that I dealt with. But once I addressed that, I really did have the opportunity to say, well, Star, you really need to work on some things within yourself, or this is going to be your life, despite if you're married or not. Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
this is the path
these are your patterns. And the Lord showed me that. And so now, I mean, I got this thing where I'm like, look, I'm on a shelf till August. I'm not trying to nobody. I don't even want to talk to nobody. Yeah. But I really think it's because I just want a time to really dive into like the things that God has put inside of me, and to break those things that are still trying to rise up. You know what I mean? Those, like you said, those old mindsets, those paradigms that still try to creep up in my mind. I'm still dealing with those things. And so I'm like, I don't want to bring anybody else into that. And I don't want to deal with anybody else while I'm trying to figure that out. Now, healing is progressive. I'm not saying when they're like, oh, I'm completely healed, I'm ready to be on the scene again. But the Lord, He'll tell us when it's time. Like He'll tell us like, okay. But I believe sometimes, again, now I'm trying to be more obedient to listening to the voice and being like, let's start just chill. It's okay. Like I promise you, you're not missing nothing. And so that's kind of where I am now. So that's good. So I do have one last question for you. What advice would you give somebody that may be walking through a divorce? Like that may be at the place where, like you talked about, the feeling hopelessness, like not feeling hopeful at all when it comes to whether it be relationship, life, not knowing what's next, whatever. What advice would you give them?
Well, I would say you definitely have to stay in constant contact with God. Like you're gonna have to talk to God like He's your best friend, like every minute of the day. Like God, I don't know what's going on. I'm trusting in you to fix this, and just let me know what I can do in the moment. Um, if you look at the smaller picture and worry about the things you are in control, that bigger picture, He's gonna line it up perfectly for you. It's gonna be beautiful. Even if you make some bad decisions, like He can make good of our bad decisions. You know.
Amen.
So no matter what choices you make, as long as you're leaning on Him, He's gonna push you through it. And it may get dark, but God is our light, and He sits there with us as we're crying. Like He held my hand. I was laid out on the bathroom floor for like days crying. Like no, not a clue. And He's like, I just need you to get up. I just need you to move. Like stop worrying about what's gonna happen in the future. That's not your job. That is above your pay grade. Okay. You middle management, okay? I give you to manage, okay?
Let's do it. Work on what I need. Yes, that's good. I love that.
So, I mean, he's a great father, and He loves us so dearly. He wants us to be happy. But if He needs to separate us, and He's like, I need some quiet time with you, listen, because then He's going to either make you be still, or He's going to take everything away from you to make you be still. And He knows, like, you mentioned that codependent stuff. I am very codependent. Like I will listen and lean on people and put too much pressure. And I did that to my husband too. And that was part of our breaking points, putting too much pressure on him and making him like the idol in my life. And I'm like, nope, let me refrain all that. Setting better boundaries. Like what would God find honorable in this situation? How should I move accordingly? And just trying to make Him happy. The name of the game is not make God unhappy. You know? What can I do to make Him happy today? And it turns out that He loves that, and He just wants to make me even more happy than I made Him. I'm like, I disappoint God. I'm not perfect by any means, but He just wants us to try. He wants us to have our faith in Him. He wants us to rely on Him. He wants His thoughts to penetrate our heart, our mind. But we can't have that unless we have that Christ consciousness, and that requires us to think, okay, what would Jesus do? You know, the WWJD.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
So just being intentional with your motives and what your purpose is. Everything else is just fall in place. Like you don't have to worry about the big picture. Like you'll wake up one day, like now looking back, I'm like, I have my husband back. I have my family. We have a community. We're meeting new people. Like my baby is now in college. Like I remember he was 3, and we were like, I don't even know how we're going to afford college. And now he's like, oh, I need books. Okay, here you go. Whatever you need, you know. So God is, even the prayers from 15, 18 years ago, like He's answering now. Like, and I can't imagine what He's going to do from the prayers that I'm praying right now in the future. So it's just be patient, be kind, be loving. Even when you don't feel like it, you're broken, just give love to somebody else. That like no point in having 2 broken people walking around. Like you can put a smile on somebody else's face. It's little things, and it might not even pertain to you, but He still pays it all back to us. So it's just patience.
I love that. I love that. God truly does write beautiful stories. Like that's one of the things that my apostle always says. Like he really does write beautiful stories, and we just have to play our part in it. So
Yes.
I love the fact that you said, you know, when you feeling hopeless, like just continue to press through and listen to those things that God is telling you to do. Because I know for me that was a big part of it was just being obedient to the things, even if I didn't feel like it. So I think sometimes we rely on our emotions so much to make us be like, oh, I'm better because I feel this thing. And it's like feelings are temporary,
They
you know?
are.
And so you have to be able to press through even if you don't feel your best. And I think that was one of the things that did save me was that obedience. So like just write down what you're feeling, write in your journal, read this scripture, study this word, like just being obedient to that literally opened up so many doors for me. And it was never for the doors to open. That wasn't why I was doing it.
Exactly.
I was doing it to try to make it to the next day.
Right.
Let's be
Exactly.
clear.
Like, you're just trying to sustain
I was just trying to
yourself.
sustain and be here for my child.
Yeah.
And in doing that, it's like so many things fell into place for me. And I love the fact that your beautiful story included you and your husband getting back together. How long have y'all been married again?
A year and a half now.
Year and a half. So how do y'all celebrate? Do y'all celebrate like the new day, the old day, both dates, no date? I don't know.
We're like all over the place because we have like our dating anniversary, and it's funny because we've always started dating in October. So like every time we renewed our relationship, like from the first time we were dating to like after the marriage, it's always been October. So we have an anniversary in October. We have an anniversary in June. I just celebrate everything.
I want all the anniversaries, okay?
Anytime I can celebrate love with him, I do.
Oh, that's so good. I love that so much. Okay, so now next time you gotta come.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah.
I really do think your story is going to inspire a lot of people. I know even for me, just listening to you, it does give me hope that my next, even if it's not my next one, Jesus. Whoever.
You just can't count God out. He said, don't put him in the box.
I can't. I told him that a long time ago. I said that, because at first I was very against it. I was like, oh no, like what do you mean? But then he did, like I did feel a little bit of condemnation, like, okay, you want love, so how you gonna put limits on it? So I was like, God, however you are willing to bring love into my life, I am willing to accept it. So
that's the challenge.
That's the best I got for you. But yes, I'm thankful that you guys were able to get back together and have your beautiful family. That is such a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need, especially in this day and time. So thank you for sharing your testimony with us on today. You are welcome. And so that's going to conclude our segment on today. If you guys can make sure you tap into the comments, let us know what you think. Like, I have a question. Would you date your ex? Because I don't know. Well, y'all know how I feel. But would you date your ex? Like, that's the real question. And just even a word of encouragement. Like, what did you think about today's episode? Did it bless you? And what would you, if you have any questions for us, like how would you, I lost my thought. But anyway, just drop what you think in the comments, okay? And yes, please like and share and subscribe to this page. We want to get more good Christian gospel content out into YouTube. And so by doing that, a way we do that is to like, share, and subscribe, share with your friends, tell them to follow the page, okay?
Yes, please follow.
Yes. And yeah, next time. I'll see you soon. Bye.